North Central Footy time, and gee, like everywhere, everyone's pretty happy with rainfall. Ricky Allen teaches in the school classroom, but also has some land at Narraport, and he joins us with the North Central Footy report. G'day, Ricky. How are you?
Yeah, very happy this week, Wayne. A good, decent drop over 3 days. Couldn't have been more timely. Everyone around the district was looking out for it, and I'd imagine there'll be a few smiles. In terms of farming or agriculture around the place at the moment, which is great.
I think there'll be a few smiles because you're back playing footy on the weekend too. I tell you, there'd be only ones that wouldn't be smiling would probably be the seniors at Wycheproof, because you face up to Sea Lake Nandaly, who are probably going to be pretty difficult opposition. But overall, back playing, and the Melbourne-based players will not be necessarily barred from coming, so that means that they will be playing for 4 premiership points. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's a good result for everyone, Wayne. Not only have sport back, but no impact in terms of Melbourne players being unable to come, and that also being able to have a crowd. So before Thursday night, when the restrictions eased, it was looking like that we wouldn't have been able to open the change rooms. So players would have had to have come dressed and then leave without showering. Also the club rooms, no canteen, no bar. So the heart and soul of what Saturday, community sport's all about, that is back allowed. So that's fantastic and great to see.
Yeah, and also I think for everyone else too, it's not just the football, but it's other activities that happen, and it's bowls clubs, it's the local churches, it's functions that are happening through the week that and now can go back on because there's 300 allowed indoors. Good result, but it's taken some time to get there. It's going to take some time for the folk from Wedderburn as they have the Boort boys across. I just want to go at this and have a look at it. Some rivalry in this. The two furthest to the east of the sides in North Central. Wedderburn, a good start to the season, and after this break that we've had, I think they could come out and beat Boort, but Boort were one of the improving sides before the break.
Yeah, that's right, Wayne. They were... I think this will be another tight one, and it's going to be really interesting to see how the 3-4 weeks off has impacted a lot of clubs. We know Wedderburn started the season really well, and their young kids were sort of the energy to that side playing some good football. So 4 weeks off, I'm not really aware of how much training each club's done, whether they're doing their own programs or in groups of 5 or 10 as we're allowed there for a couple of weeks. So it's a bit of unknown, and it's uncharted territory for all leagues, having it a sort of a 3-4 week break and starting again. So I'll be tipping Wedderburn just on the previous lead-up games before the break, but I wouldn't be surprised if Boort can get a win as well.
All right, it's an interesting one. Probably, I guess footballers now know how cricketers feel with that Christmas break that you play before Christmas, and suddenly after Christmas you don't feel like going out and playing again.
Yeah, that's right, Wayne. A couple might have trained off, so that will be interesting.
I reckon there might be some that aren't quite at the fitness level they were before the break. Wedderburn, I think, can win it. Bitchip, Watchem take on Charlton, and tell you, this is going to be an absolute beauty. Over there at the Bulls' home deck, I just had a look at their side that came through last night, and I tell you what, they are really looking good. I reckon it's one of their strongest sides that I've seen them put on the park this year, and I think the Bitchip, Watchem Bulls may be too good for Charlton.
Yeah, the last game that we had, I got to see Bitchip firsthand, and they were super impressive, Wayne. Once from the very first bounce, they got on top, and I'd be surprised if they don't handle Charlton, comfortably as well. Whether it's the margin they beat us by, I don't think, but I reckon it'll be a comfortable win to Bitchip. So a couple of players back in, but it's also interesting to note, Wayne, Will Sheen, during the break, he played his first game with Bendigo Pioneers last week and kicked a goal for the Pioneers, playing out of full forward. So that's great to see him getting recognised. He had kicked 4 goals in interleague and backed it up with a solid performance against us. So great to see that the Bendigo region is looking out at the league, and if you're playing good footy, you'll get recognised.
Absolutely, a bunch of kids too have made that underage side too, which is really good to see. And as they prepare the Bendigo Pioneers, we'll have a look at that. What about the game Sonata taking on Donald with their players available out of Melbourne? I reckon that they'll be happy about that. Lord Nelson Park, Sonata at home. Just think, Donald, everything on the line. Got to win this game to get their season back towards some hope of making the top 4.
Donald will need to win this one, and they will. If they've got all their players available out of Melbourne, they're a good running side. The midfielders of Ross Young, Vendecki and those types, but they will be too strong for St Arnaud down there. St Arnaud, as we know with their young crew, they had a good game against us, but other than the game against us, they haven't really fired too many shots. So I'll be looking for Donald to win this one, Wayne.
Absolutely, and they've got some good players too through the middle. But what about this? How can you comment on this one without any concern? Wycheproof at home get the might of Sea Lake Nandaly. All you can hope for is that the boys in the Tiger outfit somehow forget their way down the highway towards Wycheproof, but I don't reckon that it's going to be flooded, even though we've had a fair bit of rain. I think you're still going to get them down, and I think they're going to beat you by plenty. Yeah,
Wayne, look, as I said last week, it's a really good test for a couple of our players to test themselves against the best in the league. And, there will be some good individual matchups as a whole, team versus team. I think Sea Lake will handle it comfortably. For Wycheproof, it's about a bit of pride and respect in the club and the team that you're playing for. So the performance they put out, against Bitchip Watchem wasn't good enough. So I'll be looking for an improved performance on that. We do have a couple of senior players back, which always helps in that respect. But, Trevor rumbled on Billy McGuinness. Now, Billy and Trevor have had some good battles going back a couple of years, and I expect Billy to get a lot of service on today. So for Trevor, it's a big ask. He has done some big jobs, but with the amount of ball that's coming in, I expect Billy to still kick a bag. Also, I think Sea Lake, their midfielders, they're very attacking, and either a Delmenico or a Wade Donnan's going to have a good day as well. I would have thought, kicking a few goals when resting up forward. So Sea Lake comfortably, Wayne. But it's another good test for the Narraport Demons.
Certainly going to be a big test. There's some great kids that are coming through the competitions. I noticed that out of Sea Lake, young Cox is one of them that has been identified, and Donald also got playing a Boort boy too in that Bendigo Pioneer squad. Just those young kids coming through. How have you seen that, Ricky, in terms of development at North Central level, getting some kids to the higher level?
Yeah, it's a real credit to the league, Wayne, because probably about 10 years ago, we recognised that we weren't getting as many kids as we used to into those under-18s. The Bendigo Pioneers is probably the main one and a real stepping stone. So the league identified that and created, the North Central Junior Development Squad, which is a hub of AFL Central Vic, which the Bendigo Pioneers fall under. So Alistair Egan ran it for a few years, and now in charge is Geordie Hargraves, who's rucking at Wedderburn. The best kids out of each club are training together to improve their skills. And when you've got the likes of Thomas Cox from Sea Lake, you've got Burke out of Donald, and the one from Boort, Potter, I believe, from Boort.
Yep.
Those three kids have all come through that program. So it's great to see them getting recognised and playing in the Bendigo under-16s. And this is, if they're going to take their football further, this is the first stepping stone. So all the best to them. It's a great experience.
Fantastic experience. And add to that, from up in Oyen, Sam O'Shaughnessy, he's another one of the kids that we cover on our broadcasts here, who's done very well to be able to get into that squad. Ricky, great to talk to you, as always, about North Central Footy. Great to be back out on the park. Good to be following it, and we look forward to your comments next week.
Thanks, Wayne.